The Trump administration is continuing its effort to tighten the U.S. border. The Department of Homeland Security says it plans to require visa-free tourists from dozens of countries to provide a 5-year social media history in order to enter the country. CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins us live with reporting on this announcement. Camilo, how will this process actually work?
Good morning, Mugo. Citizens of more than 40 countries enrolled in the visa waiver program can typically come here to the U.S. for up to 90 days for tourism or business travel. That list of countries includes many European nations and U.S. allies like Australia, Japan, and New Zealand. And while their citizens typically do not need visas to travel to the U.S., they still need to submit an application online using a system known as ESTA before entering the country. The Trump administration, Mugo, is now proposing to overhaul that system, mainly to require applicants from these countries to share additional information. That includes, as you noted, their social media history for the past 5 years, also emails that they have used for the past 10 years, and the personal information of direct family members, including their phone numbers. The Trump administration, Mugo, says the changes are designed to comply with an executive order that the president says will make it easier for the U.S. to deny entry to people who may pose a threat to national security or public safety. But you are already seeing, Mugo, some concerns out there that the proposed changes could negatively impact tourism here to the U.S., especially months before the U.S. hosts the World Cup alongside Canada and Mexico next summer.
Oh, yeah. So, Camilo, how does this fit into the administration's border changes into immigration vetting?
Well, the Trump administration, Mugo, has mounted an aggressive campaign to expand immigration vetting and screening across the American immigration system, including for people who are already here in the States and are trying to remain here legally through applications for asylum or a green card or U.S. citizenship, the naturalization process, as USCIS calls it. And one of those changes is that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, has instructed officials at that agency to investigate the social media history of applicants, including, Mugo, to identify any views or activities that are considered to be anti-American. But there are many concerns from advocates and privacy experts about what that actually entails and whether that could include protected speech. The Trump administration again says that all these changes are designed to protect the integrity of the immigration system and to enhance national security and public safety. But of course, there are many concerns about this potentially being a slippery slope.
Yeah. All right, Camilo, thank you so much for your reporting. Meg, before I let you go, I want to talk about a new tourism proposal. The Trump administration says they plan to require all foreign tourists to provide their social media histories when trying to enter the country. How unprecedented is this, and are there any concerns when it comes to privacy, free speech?
Yeah, so it's a pretty unusual move, but it also is in line with other moves that the administration has made in recent months targeting social media. So, for example, back in June, the State Department had said that it would require people who are applying for certain types of visas to make their social media public. Now, that move had generated a whole lot of controversy. I want to read you a little bit about what an advocacy group had to say about that at the time. It's called the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and they called it, quote, a dangerous push to surveil and suppress foreign students' social media activity. So what happens next in this case is that there's going to be a 60-day public comment period where people can weigh in on this proposal. Something I also wanted to note is that this could potentially have a big impact next year as well. That's because the U.S. is going to be hosting FIFA World Cup events, and that's when there are going to be a whole lot of international tourists coming here.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point there. Megan Leibowitz, thanks so much.
We thank you for watching. So the U.S. is going to start making visitors to the country, tourists, hand over 5 years of their social media posts. What do you think they're looking for when they're looking for 5 years of social media posts? Because my guess is anybody who's protested Israel is going to be the first ones flagged and targeted with their social media posts. Now, this is for countries that people can come to the United States. They don't need a visa. They're tourists. We've got a reciprocal deal with about 43 different countries like Australia, Belgium, Greece, Germany, France, Japan, Italy, Norway, Poland, Singapore, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, the United Kingdom. We have this reciprocal visa waiver program with these various different countries where we can visit their countries without receiving a visa. They can visit our country without receiving a visa. But now the Trump administration has unveiled that they're going to be asking for 5 years of social media posts. This is what's on their the Federal Register now, saying mandatory social media in order to comply with the January 2025 Executive Order 14161, protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. CBP is adding social media as a mandatory data element for an ESTA application. The data element will require ESTA applicants to provide their social media from the last 5 years. It also goes on to say, not only are they going to want 5 years of your social media posts if you're wanting to travel into the United States, but they're going to want telephone numbers that you've used in the last 5 years, email addresses that you've used in the last 10 years. They want IP addresses and metadata from electronically submitted photos, family members' names like your parents, spouse, siblings, children, family member telephone numbers used in the last 5 years, family member dates of birth, family member places of birth, family member residencies, biometrics like face, fingerprint, DNA, and iris, business telephone numbers used in the last 5 years, business email addresses used in the last 10 years. Welcome to the free country of America. And you know, the problem with this is, now you could say, oh, yeah, that's fine, they can do this to the foreigners. Well, these countries will reciprocate and do that to us. That means when you want to travel to the UK or you want to go to France on your vacation, they're going to be collecting your biometric data, your fingerprints, DNA, iris, your 5 years of social media posts, your family members' information, detailed information over the last 5 and 10 years. They're going to be asking for all of that from you. And then guess what? Then the globalists at the World Economic Forum, they just won. Instead, the way they did it, the way they won the game of ensuring that we're all Big Brother surveilled, is they just said, oh, the way to sell this is instead of doing it to your own population, do it to another population. And then they can do it to your population. So everybody's doing it to each other's population. And now you've all got your data collected. Now all of you are being surveilled like Big Brother in the way that the you will own nothing and you will be happy globalists want. They don't care about country borders. They're not sitting there thinking, oh, okay, well, France will just collect all of this biometric data on the Americans. The Americans will collect all of this biometric data on the French. They're not thinking, oh, so that's okay because it's foreign nationals for each country and they're just going to hold each other's foreigners' biometric data and it's not going to be used for any nefarious, big, globalist government agenda. Oh, no. I mean, how naive could we be? So if we allow the Trump administration to surveil others, they will be surveilling us. And that is the same as, you know, this new rule that they have, 5 years of social media. Where did we first hear this? Oh, I know where we first heard this. We first heard this from Trump when he was saying that he was going to be doing this exact thing to people who were applying for student visas and work visas. So the people that needed visas that wanted to live here, he was saying, yeah, we're going to collect all of their social media, and if we don't like what we see, we're booting them out of the joint. And people thought, well, that's fair. We don't need these foreigners living here. Okay, but what about the tourism? Because tourism is way down in the United States. We're one of the only countries in the world where tourism is down. We are losing billions of dollars in tourism because people are afraid of coming to the country. And now we're going to add on to it that it's not just for people who want to live in the United States and make a home in the United States. It's just for people who want to freaking go to Disneyland and the Golden Gate Bridge. Those are the people who are now going to be looking at their social media and saying, you're not welcome in our country unless you are a friend to Israel.
If you hate America, if you want to abolish Israel, if you sympathize with jihadists, then we don't want you in our country, and we are not going to let you come into our country. To all the resident aliens who joined in the pro-jihadist protests and became very violent and started destroying our capital and many other places, we put you on notice. Come 2025, we will find you and we will deport you. I will also quickly cancel the student visas of all Hamas sympathizers on college campuses, which have been infested with radicalism like never before. College campuses. When I'm president, we will not allow our colleges to be taken over by violent radicals. And if you come here from another country and try to bring jihadism or anti-Americanism or anti-Semitism to our campuses, we will immediately deport you. You'll be out of that school.
The holidays are hectic.